thrown out of my head.
Symbolism, right?
Symbolism.
Yep. All right. Hi, this is Tom Bennett from H.O.W.L, the Holy Order of Wildlife, and I have my friend Austin here with me. And Austin was with me on a ride from southern Utah to Salt Lake when we put together the principles that H.O.W.L is based on. So we've had a lot of great conversations about all kinds of topics relating to spirituality, philosophy, nature. And Austin grew up in this country that you can see behind us, and has always spent a lot of time outdoors. And he's also an amazing nature photographer. What's your Instagram handle again?
It's AUZS.
AUZS, at AUZS on Instagram. Check him out. So we wanted to just talk a little bit today and see where this conversation goes. So you grew up hiking all around here, right?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Awesome.
Yep, it's kind of like second nature out here. You grow up here and mountains are just a part of your life.
Mm-hmm. What is this behind us?
I think it's Jan's Canyon. I'm not certain with all the names of the canyons, but I think that one's called Jan's Canyon.
And you and I hiked up right over that way one time, all the way to the top. And
That's right.
when you get up on top of all this, keep going, you're pretty much in Zion National Park, right?
Yeah, you're on the Canaan Mountain Wilderness, and you can hike all the way over to Rockville, Eagle Crags, right? Remember that one time we started hiking Eagle Crag?
Yeah, I
We
do.
could have ended up here.
I see.
So that's like usually an overnight.
It's one of the prettiest places I've ever seen. We're down here on the Utah-Arizona border, and it's pretty phenomenal. And because Austin has spent so much time roaming through this wilderness back here, as I've come to know him, it really shows in his personality. You know, he's a very inquisitive person. I feel like it'd be a pretty fair statement to say you're a real student of life.
I don't know. Who's to say?
Yeah. Very true. Having the experience of growing up here and spending time in all these countless beautiful canyons that are out here, what are some ways that's affected what you value in life, who you are?
It's hard to say when you're immersed in it how it has affected you until you step out of it, I guess. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you grow up in a certain place, it's like it's second nature. It's a part of you. It's normal, and you kind of take it for granted until you, say, go to a big city or something like that and spend some time there. And then when you get back to nature, you get to experience just how refreshing that is in your life, and how what you were missing out on, how it connects you to your core self and to your peace. Like there's something inside of us that resonates with nature that's untouched, that's pure.
Yeah.
Like our nature is nature, and so it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I like how you said you almost have to step away from it to realize how much it means to you. You've lived in quite a few different cities. I think we've talked about as a child you went to different cities with your family to work. I know you lived up in Seattle for a while.
Yeah.
Obviously a pretty big city. You've been all through Colorado and a lot of different places. It seems like you kind of seek out nature wherever you go, though, don't you?
I do. I try to. If it's at all possible, then I try to just get out there. I usually don't go with a plan or anything to do except just to find those places that resonate with your heart, with the deep inner peace that's inside of you, and a lot of times you end up at some of the most beautiful places that are the least known. So yeah, I usually don't go with a big agenda. It's like, see something over there, that looks cool. It's a cool mountain. Let's see if we can make it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and hiking with you, I'd say you probably can. This guy's a beast hiker. I thought I was halfway in decent shape, but I'm using my arms and scrambling, and he's just stepping up. Really intense stuff. But he grew up in this, and like you said, it's part of who you are, huh?
Yeah, it just becomes normal.
And do you feel like most people that live around here that you grew up around feel maybe similar to you do about the nature here?
Yeah, I would say most people, or the vast majority. There's really a special place in our hearts for these mountains and this kind of scenery, and this place in particular that makes us feel at home and safe. And it's funny that we feel so safe here, and people out of town will come here and feel like it's the scariest thing in the world. It's just so raw.
They just misunderstand. Yeah. And it's rugged territory, though. It can be dangerous.
It can be dangerous.
I mean, look behind us. That's pretty serious. I haven't done, there's the big famous hike here, what's it called? El-Cap?
El-Cap.
Yeah. And I mean, it's pretty rugged, huh?
It's all right. Yeah, it's not bad.
Dog, come here. You mentioned a minute ago, you said when you go out into these places, there's like a peace in your heart. And I've thought about it before, and like after you spend some time in nature, you come away feeling renewed, refreshed. I think most people share that sensation, that realization of like, man, I feel really physically rejuvenated, spiritually, more clear and stronger in every way, and just, peaceful, but like aware and like electrified at the same time.
Yeah.
Like your senses become attuned.
Yeah, like your mind is more clear. You're more at peace. Yeah.
Yeah, like
sure.
that interconnectedness of all things becomes like kind of apparent, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I guess one of my theories is that the deeper into nature you go, and the less that mankind has messed with things, then the closer that nature is to the original sacred geometry that is like the source of all creation. Also, many of the masters have talked about the pure spirits of nature, that down in the cities they're not to be found, the invisible beings of nature, that on the top of a mountain or somewhere that's remote and uninhabited by humans, then we come in contact with these the elemental beings of nature.
A lot of cultures do talk about that. I remember the little bit I learned about Tibetan Buddhism, and I think it was Bon Po, their ancient, so-called primitive practices of that area. The spirits of nature were a huge part of it.
Yeah.
It's hard to feel them when they're buried under concrete.
Right. Well, when they're not even there. And they don't want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good talking to you about this and being in such a beautiful place. And, I know you'll continue to get out here and explore it and share that with us. And
I will.
Yeah. And so, like I said, this is Austin, and he was, here having these conversations that kind of have formed H.O.W.L, the Holy Order of Wildlife, in the very beginning. And he does a lot of his own studies, and I hope you'll check him out on Instagram. He's got beautiful photos of not just southern Utah, but all kinds of places that you've been.
Everywhere I go.
Yeah. So we thank y'all for joining us today, and let's give them a good howl, huh? What do you say?